Good afternoon, everybody. I hope we're still awake. We're almost there. I want to start off by saying that my work is personal. Let me start with that. I am a social worker and a researcher. I am Mexican and American. I'm also a gay man. I was a caregiver for more than 15 years to my parents, who immigrated from Mexico. And I learned early on that aging is not the same for everyone. I study clinical and research priorities, loneliness, chronic pain, Alzheimer's disease, and related dementias, primarily in older Latinos and other minoritized groups. Health experiences are shaped by age, culture, context. However, I underscore as my talk, well, the title of the talk, that Latinos are underrepresented in the research. I ask, ¿Dónde estamos? Where are we? Right? I share a few quotes from my clinical work and my research interviews to offer glimpses into these real and complex experiences, human experiences, and the interplay of culture, context, and aging. For example, an immigrant 82-year-old man from Colombia who lived alone shared with me that one of his major concerns was dying with dignity. I do not want to be found by my smell, by my rotting smell, that is, like it happens to a lot of people out here. Or two, during one of our clinical interviews, early clinical interviews, an older Mexican woman laughed and recognized her chronic pain as a normal part of aging. Ay, she said, me duele todo mi hermoso cuerpo, ya es la edad. Or three, an older Venezuelan man feared future cognitive decline and the possibility of entering a nursing home. I hope nobody hits me, abuses me. I will not be able to defend myself or complain. So to the right there, you'll see a few publications and recent projects. I want to highlight a few threads and critical standpoints in my work. One, I question common theories and practice approaches. Not everyone is white, not everyone is heterosexual, cisgender, or lives in first world countries. And two, social systems contribute to suffering. Certainly, risk and opportunities across the life course are not equally distributed, and discrimination is toxic to health. And three, Latinos and sexual gender minorities are human beings. We deserve to age successfully. Last semester, I gained funding to examine important health outcomes in older Latinos using All of Us data. Let's go with the large data sets. The novelty of this project, but it should not be, is that I recognize that Latinos are not a monolith. So some of the aims are simply to explore differences across Latino subgroups and to examine the role of social determinants of health. Also, another line, because I am a clinical social worker, I also know that there are few interventions for older Latinos with chronic pain. So I'm adapting an evidence-based intervention with mentors from Cornell for older Spanish-speaking Latinos. One critical adaptation is the inclusion or following of a trauma-informed framework. This approach will support recruitment of these hard-to-reach population and also engage them in therapeutic relationships, address cultural and contextual perspectives of health and aging, and facilitate tough conversations. And this is both for the interventionists and the person themselves. I anticipate many more talks about deportation, violence, illness, and death. And as was mentioned before by Dr. Cook, we simply do not have enough clinicians, definitely not enough Spanish-speaking clinicians in the US. So I will be working with community health workers to deliver this intervention. This opens a lot of, huge can of worms with a lot of problems. There are definitely a lot of misconceptions about aging, and there will probably be limited funding opportunities. But finally, there's so much work to be done with older adults, particularly older Latino adults and other minoritized groups. If there are any students out there, I'm happy to pay forward the support I received. So we need you. Please reach out. And for colleagues, let's collaborate. Thank you.